Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Irv Homer Show. Today is Friday, September the 26th, 2008. And we made it a point on the Irv Homer Show to have Valerie Morrison with us the last Friday of every month. And so, Valerie, in true professional spirit, is here. Valerie, I'm not allowed to look at you because people say we look at each other too much. So I will look at the camera and welcome you to the Irv Homer Show.
Thank you.
Actually, it's the Valerie Morrison Irv Homer Show. You folks know that this is not the typical format where I'm the moderator or the host, and Valerie and all the guests that appear on the Irv Homer Show are co-hosts. So, Valerie, you're my co-host. I'm your co-host. And let me remind you folks that we're broadcasting at irvhomer.com, and you can contact my website and tell your friends about it by contacting www.irvhomer.com, and the emails that we receive and you send to Valerie. Email address is evilerv@irvhomer.com, or Valerie Morrison's email address is valeriemorrison.com. So you can send Valerie the email and ask your questions, as we receive many of them, and or to me. So that being said, let me remind you that we do have a chat room. You can contact us during the program by getting on the chat room, asking one question, please, one question only, because we try to limit as many calls as possible by asking just one question, and no health questions, nothing pertaining to health. It's not that Valerie won't answer them in person if you contact her at her office at 215-483-8881. That's 215-483-8881. She will take all health questions, and in personal consultation will answer them. But over the air, it's extremely difficult and irresponsible. So we'd appreciate no health questions. One question, your name and your birth date, if you do call in or you get on the chat room, that we'd appreciate. And I have to remind folks constantly, Valerie, because in the emotion, everybody wants to get as many questions in
Sure, I
as
understand
possible.
that.
So now, Valerie, my co-host, what's on the agenda on the program today?
Well, I think we're going to get to all of you, of course, and
No, you're not. You're not going to get to all of them.
we're going to get to most of you. All right, the first thing I want to do is keep this really serious in the beginning, all right? The one thing that I want to say is, who turned him loose? Who turned him loose? All right, you see what I'm wearing here? It's a blue ribbon. All of you are asked today in the daily news to wear a blue ribbon or put blue balloons outside of your house, on your car, something blue to remember what is going on in Philadelphia, which is now the highest crime rate over Camden, New Jersey, which used to be the highest. The red on the blue ribbon I'm wearing represents the blood that the officer shed. Not only one bullet, ladies and gentlemen, not one, but while he was lying there, 30 years old, bleeding to death, this man, this maniac that you see right before you, that had how many times? Let me go through this quickly. 1991 at the age of 10. January of 1997. 97 again. 97 again. 98 again. 2000 again. Last month, he was released on probation. Can we blame the judges? Yes. You're a little bit too lenient on the people you have before you. Consider the crime. I know a young boy that got caught shoplifting recently. He got 3 years. 3 years. Guaranteed he had drugs on him. 3 years. But he tried to kill anyone. This man gets 6 to 12 and he's out in 10. Excuse me, what is wrong with our system here? I watch a television show called Parole Officers, where they parole the people. I can see how tough they can get and how many questions they can ask. Well, what in the world happened here that we are losing so many men? Now, I want you to get your blue ribbons, your blue balloons, put them on your cars. I'm sure they'll be selling them soon. I'm wearing the white for the white shirts, the blue for the blue uniform. The red is for the blood that was shed for us, the citizens of Philadelphia. This man's father is inconsolable. I know what that feels like, and a lot of you out there have lost children. You know what it feels like. All because of someone. Doesn't matter race, creed, or color. Forget that. Let's remember that a lot of people like Bundy deserved what he got. Other people did not. Let's get to the different kind of thing, ladies and gentlemen. let's get to the fact that we have just gone through this great loss. What about this loss? Look at it closely. Do you see that mother grieving as she's being carried from her son's funeral from Iraq, where he was killed? A 21-year-old boy also. No much younger than McDonald that was killed, the police officer. Shot and killed. She's a wonderful woman, and there is something called Operation Bedding. This is a picture of the flags. This is a picture of her husband, and she's still grieving. And it's been quite a while. By the way, I'll get through this, then get to all of you. There's an annual formal fundraising gala at the William Penn Inn, 202 and Sunnytown Pike, Gwinnett, PA. You know where that is. 7 p.m. Thursday, October the 2nd, 2008. I'm hoping that Irv and his friend Shirley will come with Frank and I. And that will be Thursday, October the 2nd, 2008. The honorary chairman will be Senator Robert Casey Jr. The guest speaker will be Republican Patrick Murphy, the Iraqi war veteran.
He's a Democrat.
Yep.
No, he's a
Oh,
Democrat.
what did I say?
Representative, you said Republican. God, don't make Pat Murphy a Republican.
Okay, he'll kill me.
He'll
That's
re-enlist
right.
in Iraq again.
All right. The one thing I want you to do is we have something called Operation Bedding, and this helps all the troops. So far, we have sent 10,000 boxes of supplies overseas. So get in touch with me, ValerieMorrison.com, and I'll tell you where you can get anything that has to do with pillows, sheets, socks, snacks, and other daily necessities to send to Iraq. It's called Operation Bedding. Any other information you need to know about this young man, Convoy, Officer Convoy, please let me know. As far as this other man, I don't want to hear the sympathy that I'm getting from other people. Oh, they killed someone. Oh, these cop killers. Oh, look what they did. He should have had another chance. Well, tell me, while they were pumping the bullets while he was pumping them into Officer McDonald, did he have another chance to say, goodbye, Mother, goodbye, Dad, I love you? I love all of you. Enough preaching for today. Enough anger for today. Let's go back to Valerie Morrison on the Love Line with Irv Homer.
Valerie, one question that I can't get the answer to so far. Was Officer McDonald wearing a vest, a bulletproof vest?
Yes.
He was wearing the
Yes,
vest?
but
What type of weapon? They probably used a powerful one.
they've used a very powerful
Concentrate.
weapon.
Well,
Frank would know more about that than I do,
Yeah.
but they showed it on television today. And the thing is that when you see an officer and you're a criminal and you're ready to shoot the officer, and as you see here, ladies and gentlemen, I do wear a badge working with the police. The thing of it is that you know enough to reach up under that badge and shoot. And if you have a .22, they know where it goes. You and I both know guns.
Well, sometimes
we
they don't
carry
have
them.
they don't have the chest protector part of the
Right. Well,
vest, or
usually
the
they go for
groin
the head,
shot.
don't they?
They either go for the head or the groin.
Exactly. What are we supposed to be doing? Running around wearing all this stuff like we're coming in stakeout groups or something like that, so they're protected with shields and everything else? I'll tell you a little story. I have to tell this one. In my neighborhood, in Roxborough, there's a store that's constantly held up. I mean, it's constantly held up. Now, Irv, I want your answer to this one. This is why I'm asking you. Nice people. You read a story, okay, what happened? You hear that they're robbed again. A man has a gun that looks so real, Irv, so real, made up, that he shows it to them, they give him the money. He runs out and he hides behind a couple of cars. The police come to the place, the little store. He hides behind the cars. He confronts the police. What does he do? He raises the gun, which looks very real, at the police. The police officers shoot him in the thigh. They don't know what to do. I mean, I would tell the police officers, as I spoke to a woman police officer yesterday, she said she would shoot to kill. But they shot him in the thigh. And guess what? Excuse me, Irv. They were suspended without pay until further investigation. Now, tell me, what would you have done? Irv, you're pretty good with that. You know a lot of officers.
Well, when I first started carrying a weapon in the military, during instruction, they said, don't ever point a gun or a weapon at anyone unless you intend to kill them. So you don't have hijinks by pointing a gun, a toy gun, or a real weapon. Point is that people do not know how police are instructed. And when you get a weapon, if anyone points a gun at me, I can only assume that they're going to kill me with it. I don't think they're pointing a gun at me to say, let's sit down and talk. And so the danger of someone who is licensed to carry, or someone who is familiar with firearms, and most of the criminals that point weapons, and their parents or their loved ones who end up being the innocent victim of this culprit pointing a weapon at somebody, don't understand that if you have a weapon, a toy gun, and we used to play with toy guns and cowboys and Indians, all that stuff, don't ever point a weapon at anyone who is licensed to carry or a police officer, because in my mind and in their mind is, you intend to kill me, and the police officer thinks that he intends to kill him, and that's why the police fire. When you have a gun pointed at you, you don't sit and say, well, gee, I wonder what size that weapon is. I wonder what size caliber that is. I wonder how its aim is. The instinctive thing to do, if you're licensed and permitted to carry, you shoot to kill. And you can assume that they're shooting at you to kill you. And this is the tragedy of weapons. They are not instructed on how to use them. They think they're King Kong. They think they're going to point a gun and scare a police officer, or they're going to point a gun at a store owner who is licensed to protect his business, or a pedestrian. You point a gun, you criminals, if you're listening, or if you're related to a criminal, or somebody that's got an illegal weapon, when that person, that loved one of yours, your kid, your brother, your husband, points a weapon at someone like me or a police officer, you're going to get shot. And I'll worry about, and the police officer will worry about the consequence afterward. Now, it's important for people to realize that when a police officer, the last thing a police officer wants to do is to kill somebody. He's going to get time off. It's going to go on his record. He's going to live with that tragedy the rest of his life. When you're in a war, it's one thing. They're killing you and you're killing them. But when you're doing a job to protect the public from criminals or from traffic violations or whatever it is, they're going to shoot you. And they have a right to shoot you once it's proven that that weapon, if it's a toy gun, that police officer don't know. If it's a piece of aluminum foil that looks like a silver, like a chrome plate, you don't understand. And these turkeys, like this guy that got shot, don't understand. They think it's a joke. I'm going to blame at the cop. Well, guess what? You're going to be dead. So if you have a loved one, you know they got a weapon, be prepared to go to their funeral. They may be totally innocent, but pointing a gun means, to me, you aim to kill me. You point a gun at a police officer, the officer assumes you're going to kill them. They don't have the time to sit and debate the merits of whether the gun is legal, whether it's illegal. The cop's got a gun point. He's going to kill you. And he deserves to kill you because you just don't know.
And also go along with probation, that no one should have paroled him. He made the statement he had trouble in prison. In prison, all he did, Herb, was cause trouble and was put into the pit, they call it, for I don't know how many days. He kept causing it, and they let him loose. This is a man who said, I'll never be taken alive. I will kill the police that come after me. And he did it.
Well, they have another thing, and it's called suicide by police.
Oh, yes. I do know that.
A lot of people, criminal element, this guy's a 3-time loser.
Right.
He knows he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to be able to get a job. He's not going to be able to get any public assistance. The only alternative he's got is death. And they're too yellow to shoot themselves. So they come up with this theory, suicide by police. If I aim a gun, the cop's going to kill me. They're really looking for suicide.
I think that's true.
Of course, you can't sit and read their mind, folks, whether or not that's what they intend to do or not. You just don't know. But don't point a gun at anybody. And don't let your child point a gun at anybody. 10-year-olds can kill if they have a live weapon that you left laying around the house. So you're going to see a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 6-year-old. You read it in the paper all the time. Kids get a hold of a weapon, they point it, and they get killed.
I had a friend of mine, I have to tell you this, and she is an intuitive, but in a different healing source. And I'm not going to mention names, but she had a 15-year-old daughter who her father was a police officer. And I'm not blaming that, but he never left his gun home. He put his Glock very high up on a shelf. She climbed up and found it and was just looking at it and wondering all about it. He left it there to go just to the corner store, just for that 1 second. That's why when you say, watch those guns, and her brother burst through her room to say something to her, and the gun went off. Needless to say, we lost that child. Not us, but I mean the person that I'm speaking about, that is a healer in Reiki, lost her daughter and tried, while the girl was bleeding to death with a shot through her face, was still giving resuscitation.
Well, there are many times, and you never know whether or not it has a hair trigger or not. You can adjust the
Mm-hmm.
weapon. You use the mere fact and put your finger on the trigger, that's going to go off. That's the way it
Exactly.
has been manufactured. That's the way it's been adjusted. That's the way it has been configured. So some guns you actually have to squeeze the trigger to have it go off. Other weapons, all you have to do is touch that gun. It's a hair trigger, and that gun will go off. So the problem is, Valerie, I guess we don't teach kids and people enough about what a gun really is. And so we watch cowboys and movies and old
Right,
John Wayne
right.
movies and Dirty Harry and all that kind of stuff. And that's the society we live in. But it is a tragedy, and just be thankful to God that you're not a victim or the relative of a victim. But as long as this nonsense keeps up, you can't blame the police officer. And there's many areas sociological. First of all, they lowered the standards for police
Mm-hmm.
officers,
Yes, yes.
and through liberalism, you got to have women on the police department. You got to have a woman with two. That police officer that had two children just got killed in the automobile accident.
Mm-hmm.
We got women that serving in combat, and we got folks. It's a dangerous world out there. You need the best and the brightest and most expensive. It's amazing that the head of a CEO of a corporation can walk away with $10 million, and if a
Mm-hmm.
cop wants
Mm-hmm.
another $5,000 a year
Right,
raise to
right,
protect me,
right.
hey, we got no money. Got enough money to bankroll casinos. We got enough money to bankroll stadiums. We got enough money for everything under the sun. Don't have enough money to give the cops a $5,000 raise. I
That's
wouldn't be a
true.
cop coming right out of the academy. I got 50 grand salary to start, and my family taken care of if I get killed in line. But that's another story, another
I
program
think
for another
I
time.
think what Erva and I are trying to say together, we've spoken about this before the show, is that we send our condolences to Officer McDonald's parents. He was not married, and we also, I cannot say anything about the killer because it would be too derogatory. He's had a history, obviously. What are they going to say next? He was neglected by his father. He was assaulted as a child. We hear this all the
All right,
time.
now,
Doesn't count.
let me extrapolate on that. Newt Gingrich many years ago made a statement we should open up orphanages again
Yes.
for these type of children.
Yes.
And the liberals said, oh no, they have to have a home environment, they have to have parental guidance, they have to have this, the other thing. No, no. Orphanages, I know many people that went through orphanages came out as judges, lawyers, working in responsible positions. So don't cry that the kid was brought up. Let's have a society that takes those children out of that environment and raise them through religious institutions, through orphanages, state-run, monitored carefully, religious institutions, do a terrific job with orphanages. I know I used to be active in one of the orphanages on State Road. Whenever they needed anything, they'd call me. I'd get them shoes, blankets, underwear for the
Mm-hmm.
kids, everything. So we've got to take a look at, we ourselves created this mess sometimes with unfortunate kids. Sure, this kid was probably born at one time as a nice little innocent baby in a hospital, and the
Right.
nurses handled and created him. He grew up because of lack of parental guidance. But that doesn't help the officers. Incidentally, one other comment about this officer. I go to a favorite diner for breakfast, usually in the mornings, at least 2, 3 times a week. And one of my favorite waitress there, who no longer works at the restaurant, son was killed.
Mm.
Just a random shooting in Northeast Philadelphia. Officer McDonald was the officer who arrested the killer of her son.
Oh.
And she is just completely blown away. Lorraine, if you hear me or know of the program here on the Irv Homer Show, my condolences go with you. Anyway, I think we made a point, Valerie.
Yes, we did.
And once again, you can contact Valerie at her office in Roxborough, Pennsylvania. Valerie Morrison at 215-483-8881, 215-483-8881. Or ValerieMorrison.com is her website. And once again, I can't brag enough about my son Ron, who has put this thing together through RGH Computer Services. It's his company for all your computer needs, computer problems, or if you want a program like this set up in your own home, your own office, or if you want to buy time on this network, you simply do your own show. We don't care. In fact, eventually Valerie will be doing her own show without me. So that telephone number is 215-322-8685. 215-322-8685. I've got nothing to do with it. In fact, I have to pay him to broadcast on my own. Well, that's the father supposed to do that with kids that are good. What can I
Well,
tell you,
Ron, I
Brian?
think you're terrific, so
Well,
there.
don't give him a big head, Ron. Don't do that. Anyway, we will take your calls and your questions on our chat room. We have a bunch of emails that were sent to Valerie at our office. Once again, one question only, please. No questions pertaining to health. I can't read that stuff.
Okay, I'll do it. Hi, Valerie and Irv.
The
My
next
name's
one.
Lisa.
The next line.
Oh, okay. Where do I go?
We are working on phone lines. We are?
We are working on phone lines. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, what number do they call?
So do I point this way or what?
No. We don't have phone lines yet, but we're working on getting them in.
Oh, we are working
Oh,
on
I
phone lines,
see.
so you'll be able to call in rather than using the chat room.
So am
So,
I?
Valerie, it's
Go
yours.
ahead.
You take it.
Okay. Hi, Valerie and Irv. My name is Lisa. My birthday's 3/22/65. You don't have to say that. Just say your sign and your age, and we'll do that faster. Valerie, do you see me ever meeting the love of my life? Well, I'll tell you something. Lisa, you've been waiting long enough. You've already been hurt twice in your life, if I can feel that one. And my feeling would be the love of your life is coming in very shortly. You might give Ron a call here. You know, he's looking for the love of his life, and he's a good-looking guy. But anyway, no, the love of your life will be coming in, but it will not be coming in until you get into about March of next year. So be a little bit patient. The knight in shining armor always makes you wait a little while, okay? I know I did.
Okay, Lisa, now let us go to an email, Valerie, that you received.
All
Valerie
right.
Morrison is our special guest, one of the country's leading psychics, and I'm not going to read the entire thing here, but I will get to the part. She's a Libra, I guess, and she says, I must find employment to support me and largely supplement my meager SS benefit.
Right.
I've started the search. Do you see anything in particular that I will connect with, and if so, when? And that is from Constance from West Grove, Pennsylvania.
Well, Constance, the one thing that I am seeing from you would be that there is a job for you, but it starts out part-time before it would go into full-time. Just be a little careful there, because don't get yourself into the house cleaning business at this point if you're thinking about that, or babysitting, because my feelings would be you've thought of both of those things and they could cause you a little bit of a problem with the knees and the legs and the hands. So I want you to do something in perhaps a doctor's office as a receptionist, if that's possible, watching the collecting, of course, the SSI, and get yourself into something, and you'll find that this should be coming up very, very shortly. In fact, you could get something latter part of November or in the first part of December, sweetie. Okay, and I love you. God bless.
All right, that was Constance, I believe, from West Grove on an email. Let us go to the chat line, and the next one, Valerie, is.
Hi, Valerie and Irv.
Hi,
Thank
Chris.
you. It's Christy. And I'm a Taurus and 26. Very good, Christy. You did that well. You're looking into changing careers, and this is a good decision. And will I get the jobs that I am hoping for? Absolutely. There are 2 jobs going to be offered to you, sweetheart. So I see 2 interviews for each job. You will choose the right one. My feelings would be that you're going to be working with a lot of people around you and a lot of things that are coming in packages that you have to open and then put somewhere. So this sounds a little weird. Perhaps you can let us know at a later time, but you're going to do fine. Okay?
All right, now the next question is on the chat room. We don't want to say, it's a general question like, hi, I'm an
Yes.
Aquarius age 69. What is that? We start one particular question. So
So
the
we're going to
person-
go to the next one.
Are you interrupting?
I'm
me again?
sorry. I'm the enter.
See,
I'm sorry.
Sometimes, so every once in a while I have to sit on her.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
she
yeah.
is my co-host. So the person who is an Aquarius age 69 who asked the question, what is ahead for me? If you can rephrase that with one specific question, we'd appreciate it. So we'll delete that one and go to our email. Valerie, this is from Tracy C. of Philadelphia. Her date of birth is 7/1/61.
Okay.
Question is, the man that I'm in love with now suddenly appears to be on the fence, is refusing to be in touch with me, but is in touch with a past girlfriend who is pressing him to come back to her and marry her. Will he stay with me, or will he choose her? And that is from Tracy C. of Philadelphia.
Tracy, let me tell you something. In a condition like that, when a man can't make up his mind whom he wants, we don't give him time. Okay, as a psychotherapist, I could answer that, but I'll answer it as a psychic. Okay, as a psychic, I would say to you, this man is so disillusioned. He has too much baggage. She's better off without him. You deserve better. better comes along your way in January. So go for it, baby. Don't take the nonsense from him. Let him pack his baggage and go to the other woman. Tell him you refuse his calls. Do not get in touch. Leave him alone. I know it'll break your heart, but don't let him see you cry.
Valerie Morrison is the co-host of the Irv Homer Show on this Friday, September the 26th, broadcasting from irvhomer.com. Once again, my email address, evilerv@irvhomer.com. Valerie Morrison's email address is valeriemorrison.com. You can contact Valerie for a personal interview. Is it interview? What do you personal
I just love
consultation?
this. Yes, you may have a personal consultation with me. And of course, people ask me, what does that mean exactly? Past, present, future. I always say, what do you want to know about your past? Well, you already know it, right? Let's go into the present and let's go into the future. The thing of it is to telling you and helping guiding you along. However, if it's through the death of a child, a brother, sister, mother, father, I call it psychotherapy for the reason that I try to give you the, yes, I do see the dead. Yes, I speak to the dead. Yes, they come to me. So that part of me is the medium that speaks. The other part is going to help you get through the same pain I went through when I lost my daughter. And if it happens to be marriage counseling, which I do, we will do that in a therapy way. And also, we do sex therapy, by the way, too.
Whoa.
And so, if you're having a problem together
Whoa,
sexually, where we've had recently a man who wants to wear women's panties to bed, and his wife is saying after 20 years of marriage she's getting a little tired of it. Well, that's something we had to work out. So I do it as far as I do the therapy. Stop laughing out there. Okay, I do the therapy as well as everything
Women's
else.
panties are very comfortable.
Well, you know what? Absolutely.
They have no outlet.
I like mine, so I don't know about you.
Well, I don't know if you're my size or not.
Okay.
This is Harshdy's wearing.
Yeah, right
Why
or
are we
wrong.
getting more information than we really need tonight?
I think the thing of it is out there, everyone. You can ask me anything on the line with Herb. You can ask me about sex. You can ask me about, number one, too many of you are doing it too fast, and the guy gets overwhelmed. And, I was taught something by a very, very wonderful man in my life. Men are hunters. Once they start eating the meat out of one kill, they'll go to the next kill real fast if you allow that to happen.
Well, you're right. Men are hunters and hunters and killers, and women are gatherers.
That's right, absolutely.
So we're pretty well compatible here. All right, now let's go to the next one. I think is yours, Valerie.
Libra 34, I had several interviews, and I recently had an interview on Thursday, the 25th, which I hope is the one I will work for. What do you think? I think you're in. Go for it, baby, okay? Shall we go to the next one? We get some of these in? Hi,
Well,
Valerie.
wait a minute. I have an email here. I have a lady
He's
in the
putting them up
I have a
on
lady
you.
in the balcony, doctor. This one is from St. Cloud, Florida.
Wow,
That's
good
right.
for you.
Well, we
I
go
love
all over the
Florida.
world, you know.
I know we do.
I have one here in Farsi, so I can't interpret. I'm going to have to go to the University of Pennsylvania.
Well, I know, we have to try.
Oh, yes. Hi, Valerie. My husband and I moved to Florida from Philadelphia in January of this year, 2008. I'm having difficulty time adjusting without the rest of my family here, my son and grandson, and was wondering if you see me staying in Florida or moving back to Philadelphia. And that's from Linda from St. Cloud, Florida. Linda, Valerie's going to give you an answer.
Linda, the one thing that I wanted to say to you is you didn't ask the one imperative question I was looking for. Am I going to move back to Philadelphia with my husband or without him and the family? Because you missed the family back here. So you didn't mention the fact about your husband. So I think you should be saying to me, is my husband going to be coming with me? Because it looks like he's resistant to making the move to Philadelphia, and you're very sad about it. Come on. From Philadelphia to Florida, it's only a 2.5 hour trip by plane. We know things have doubled up a little bit right now. Stay there, settle yourself down. If you want to come back to Philadelphia, to speak to your husband about that, but give yourself another 3 to 6 months before you make that choice. And then I'll let you know more about that, but I think you already have the answer.
All right. Now, that was my question. Is it your turn now?
Yes. Hi,
okay,
Valerie.
it is your turn, Valerie, from the chat room.
Hi, Valerie. I'm an Aries, 27, and what I want to know is my boyfriend going to be able to sell his house soon, and if so, when? You know what the market's like. I don't have to tell you. He could sell the house, but he's going to sell it for about 30,000 more if he sells it this time. So you didn't say whether the house was paid off, and I don't think it is. Therefore, you have to pay for the other place you're going to move to. Your boyfriend loves you very, very much. That should be an answer there. The house will not be able to sell until around March or April, so you're kind of stuck with it. Fix it up, do the best you can, do everything you can with the house to get it sold at the right price when things change. As soon as January is over, ladies and gentlemen, economy will pick up.
I know that you don't answer questions in general, Valerie, but one of the things that I run into now that folks know that you're on the air every Friday on the Irv Homer Show here on the Irv Homer Network is would you ask Valerie a question? And I don't know, what is closure? When people say, "Oh, well, that's closure," what in your definition of what is closure after?
All right, I'm going to answer that in the psychological way. All right, closure is when you lose a child, a husband, a spouse, anyone that you love, anyone you love. It could be an aunt, uncle, whatever you're close to. Closure is something that doesn't quite come, okay? It's something that people expect you to go through and learn. The only way to have a closure through a death is just to try very hard to keep yourself busy and to remember that person on the special days and try to remember the things when you look at their pictures that make you the happiest. Now, I have a feeling whoever is asking about these questions is asking about love too, because I get a lot of people that say, but Valerie, I was going with this guy for 3 years and just like that, he's gone. And I didn't have any closure. And that's true, but if she would have looked deeper, if I would have spoken to her and said, look deeper, you would have seen he made a change over the last year, did he not? Closure in a relationship is just like closure in a death, honey, for any of you. It hurts a lot and it takes time. Closure is when somebody can finally come up to you and say, look, I found someone else. That's closure. Or when a person is passed over, they can't say that. So all they can say to you and all you should say is, I'm sorry, without going into details. That's closure.
Okay, that was a general question. Okay, this question is, does my husband know how much I miss him? Apparently, either doesn't mention whether it's through divorce or whether it's through death, but let's assume that it is through death. Does my husband know how much I miss him? And that's from Susan in Fairless Hills.
Susan, I actually feel that your husband knows how very, very much that you miss him, how you still sleep on his pillow and pull it over at night, how you're still hugging it, trying to pretend that it's him, and how you haven't gotten out of all the clothes in the house yet. So that, again, talks about closure. She has not gotten rid of the clothes because she's not able to do that yet. So until you are able to, and you're not right now, honey, he knows and he loves you. And sometimes, when you feel like there's a bug in your hair, and you kind of like push your hair back real fast, you get a little frantic, that's your husband touching you. So he knows how much, and you're going to get many more signs. And I feel with you, although I haven't seen many, a huge black monarch butterfly will show you the way. God bless.
All right, that was Susan, and now we go to the chat room, Valerie Morrison.
Yes, we'll go to Hi Valerie, Sagittarius 31. My husband was recently deployed for Iraq. Will he come back home safely? My promise, he will come back home safely. But let me tell you something. Many mothers and fathers bring their children to me, and I want you to remember this. These are boys that just came back from Iraq. Be patient with him, because when I look into the eyes of these boys that I'm counseling, there's a blank look. They're never quite the same. Unless you've been there, you wouldn't know what they have to go through because you won't see it on the news. So be patient with him and know that he will come home safely and that he adores you, okay?
Well, this is a general statement, Valerie, but I think it bears asking this.
Okay.
Apparently, I'll read this. This
You
is
do
a
that.
little affirmation of your skill.
All right.
It said, "Hello, Valerie. Saw your website. I remember your shows on WWDB back in the 80s. Just want to know the cost of either phone consultation or private consultation. Well, if you call the number 215-483-8881, 215-483-8881, Valerie will give you all the information you need." I've been having a lot of personal problems lately. I know God works through you. I've contacted you in the past, about 20 years ago, and your predictions were right on target. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for what you've been doing to help those of us who are struggling with life's difficulties, and may God bless you. And that's from Maria. Now, in addition to that,
Thank
her
you,
question is this. I'm writing because a friend of mine, date of birth 10/2/54, decided to end our 40-year friendship due to a misunderstanding. Is there a possibility that we will reconcile, or is this friendship broken forever? I'm sad and heartbroken, and that is also from Maria of Philadelphia.
My advice for you intuitively would be to say, to write a card, a really nice card where you buy the front of it, missing you, and they have musical things inside, and say, please try to remember all the good times we had together. And one thing I tell people, and I'm remiss at doing it myself, is sometimes when you know that the other person is wrong, even in what they did, it may be good for you to say, I was wrong. Sometimes it's good for us to say we were wrong, even though we think we're right. And in the long run, we'll find out maybe we could have handled it differently. Write a little note to the person telling them, I do miss you. I was wrong if I hurt you. Please give me a chance to explain that. And I feel this will come back together again. So tiptoe it through the next thing when you do meet them.
And this is a question for health, but Cheryl, if you will direct the direct question to Valerie, she said, and we're not going to answer this question because I had said
All right.
no question about it. Valerie, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to have my question answered. I've been very concerned about my husband's health. Are my concerns justified, or am I worrying over nothing? And that's Cheryl. Cheryl, if you will call Valerie at 215-483-8881, tell her you heard her and saw her on the Irv Homer Show. She'll answer that question. I'm making a commitment for you, Valerie, but you'll probably answer that question because she saw you on the show.
Mm.
Okay, it's your turn, Valerie.
Okay, hi Valerie. My niece's boyfriend signed up for the Army, Infinity. Will he be okay?
Infantry.
I'm sorry, infantry. She writes infinity. I wrote it. Sorry about that one. Infantry. Will he be okay? Will they get married? Yes, I feel they will get married, and he's going to be fine. And the marriage will take place in the fall of next year. So stop worrying so much about it. You do worry a lot. Should we go to the next one?
Okay.
Okay, Lorraine.
This is the, wait a minute, no, this is.
Am I beating you ahead here? Fast. Okay.
Go to the email. This is too general a question. Oh no, it isn't. I'm going to be. This is from. Let me see. Who is this from?
Sis?
Sis.
Is that sis?
Not my sis. Your sis?
No.
Anyway, this is from sis. I always seem to have bad luck, and bad things happen to me a lot. Am I going to be looking for a job soon? I want to know if I'll get a decent one, or do I have to settle for something that will just pay the bills? Is there any particular area, Valerie, where I should be looking in as far as my skills go? She doesn't mention what her skills are. How about a side career like writing or investing or something like that? And that's from sis, Valerie.
At this particular point, writing or investing is completely out for you. I mean, you have to, in some way, you have to go back to school again, and you have to go to either Cabrini or Textile or one of the schools in Philadelphia to know which school you could learn writing, and you don't have the time for that. I would feel at this particular point, getting into food service of some sort point for you would be very, very good. I know you're probably saying, oh, no, I don't want that. But whether it's catering or whatever it is, where you can meet other people, be happy for a while, I feel that that will take you in a long run of schooling and get you where you want to be, so you won't have to worry as much as you're worrying right now. Oddly enough, the food service is still doing well, which is strange. We've seen some restaurants close, right? But we've seen others flourish. So, catering would be very good for you, sweetheart.
And now it's your turn to
Okay.
go to the...
To Lorraine?
Yeah, now you go to Lorraine.
Lorraine, Pisces, 1949. Recently moved to Milton, Delaware with my husband, and not sure that this was a wise move. Do you think that was a good decision? The thing is, Lorraine, if you were living in Jersey and you moved there, I'd say good for you, because Jersey is the only place, I said on my New Jersey radio show, everyone wants to move out of. Sorry, but anyway, I would like Delaware, and if you're anywhere near Bear, I don't know. Bear, Delaware is a beautiful place now.
Yeah.
And I would say that give yourself a little chance here. I think Delaware is a place where you're going to be happy if you just give yourself a chance. You're missing everything and everybody. So come on, settle down with your husband and be happy right now and leave it go for a little while.
There's some strange people down in Delaware. The native Delawareans, they think we're big city folks. But Milton, Delaware is a little town that doesn't even have a red light.
Well, I've heard.
I said it doesn't have a red light, but it's got a speed limit of 25, and you better do 25 in Milton, Delaware. And they had a motel there, and it's known as the Hilton in Milton. It's a motel, but it's close to Dover. No, I think, Lorraine, if I can answer you,
Yeah,
being almost a resident of the state of Delaware for some 20 years, it's a great state to get used to. The cost of living down there is inexpensive. Their taxes are minimal. There's no sales tax on anything. And once you get to know those people, you'll really like it there.
I kind of like the small places myself, but God kind of put me in a big city, and I still don't know my way around, as you know. How many times was I late for when we were doing our last shows? Okay.
We have an email here from Jen of Philadelphia, 1976. Hi Valerie, can you answer my question on the Irv Homer show Friday night? I want to know if I should move to the next level with my boyfriend. He is committed and ready. I could move in with him and pay off my debts. That's from Jen B. Should she move in
Jen,
with him?
the one thing that I did read that email that Irv had, and I have to tell you something. The one thing that got to me was the fact you mentioned that, he's ready. You didn't say you were. You did say something about, I could move in with him and pay my debts. So what you're saying, are you in love with this guy, or do you just want to make sure that he pays your debts? Do you see what I mean, Irv? So you're not really giving the whole scenario here. My feelings are that you love him, but, loving someone and being in love are two different things. So my answer to you would be, if you want to move in with him, my other thing is, for every woman and man out there, don't promise something you can't really give. And that's that.
Say that again.
Say it again?
Say what you just
Do
said.
not promise something you can't really give. In other words, she may say to him, well, I love you, and later we'll get married, and he's ready to jump into it. And she's saying, well, gee, I get my debts paid off first. And then she's not sure. She's not saying I'm in love with him. She's saying he's in love with her.
And she's got debt.
Yeah, and she's got debts, and she knows he can pay them off. That's not a reason to do that, dear. That's not love. We don't use the people we love, all right?
Let's go to this email, which is a little general,
Okay.
Valerie, but I
Good.
think this Kelly needs some help that I think you can offer her. Hi there, Valerie. Everything feels not good at present. I feel so tired and lifeless a lot of the time. I can't sleep at night. I have a 4-year-old son, but feel too tired in the day to play with him. Also, it's affecting my work because I'm so tired. I just wonder if you could see the future improving. But I'm not asking this question. I'm putting this in. I'm not asking this question. Give Kelly a little bit of inspiration
Sure.
on how to get over that being tired. And I wouldn't have read it, but she's got a 4-year-old son that her attitude is probably affecting her. So
What's happening, Kelly, is that you're going through a general depression. Now, you didn't state where the father of the child was. You didn't mention that. I read between the lines, and I just think that you're overdoing. You're what my manager says. You're overwhelmed, and being overwhelmed with everything is going to put you in this depression. You're not getting enough sleep. That's true. You're not eating properly. That's true. You're worried about your weight. That's true. So, sort of a general reading goes in there as to, I think it would be best if you got off to a doctor. It doesn't have to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but a general doctor, just to go over your blood work. I don't see anything wrong, and find out perhaps if he would want to give you medication for the depression you're going through, because life has not been easy for you, and I feel as though you're not really close to your mother or father for some specific reason. So that's all I can say right now.
Once again, I'm Irv Homer, and my co-host is Valerie Morrison, and we're broadcasting from IrvHomer.com. The website is www.irvhomer.com. My email address is evilirv@irvhomer.com. I do this program Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 o'clock. It is archived. It goes all around the world, as you see where some of these emails are coming from. You can contact Valerie at her office at 215-483-8881, 215-483-8881. That's in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia. And her email address is valeriemorrison.com, valeriemorrison.com. And you're also on a radio station in New Jersey, aren't
Yes,
you, Valerie?
each Monday, the first Monday of every month, you can listen to me on WV as in Valerie, VLT, WVLT. And I'm on from 6 to 7 o'clock in the evening, and you may call in there, look it up on the web, it'll come up, and you'll be able to do the same thing you're doing with us all the time. And the other thing, of course, is Pearl Palto, who was on the show recently, who is a wonderful friend of mine.
And she'll be back.
She will be back, and she does a wonderful job. I do that the last Thursday of each month from 12 noon to 1 o'clock. And I work in my office only Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, ladies and gentlemen. I work 12 hours, so you'll be able to get in day or evening. And Herb, I have to tell you something Pearl said to me very quickly. She said, someone was joking about the fact that the three of us together would be very good in doing something once in a while. And would be The View. Someone was teasing us on the air about The View when we did our show. And I said, that would be good. Think of all the different views we have. We have the intuitive, the psychic, we have the credit lady, and we have the master.
We'll talk to the big boss, Ron, and
Yes,
see if we
we
can put that
will.
thing together sometime.
Just once in a while, just once for fun to see
Yeah.
how it handles.
Because I think the three of us could solve this mess that we're in.
I think you're right.
The collective brains between Valerie Morrison, Pearl Palto, who is an expert in credit, Valerie, who is an expert in human relations, and Irv Homer is just an expert. I think we could do it.
You are an expert. Come on.
Now, where do we go? You or me? I think it's you.
Oh, I'll
I
take
think it's
it.
your turn, Valerie.
Valerie, I was waiting for a settlement, and the offer is substantially less than expected. Will I get more if I persevere? Michelle, the answer is you better take what you can get right now, because I don't think you're going to get more, and you're only going to spend more money.
I got a hairy feeling about that, like the case that Michelle has isn't that secure.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was feeling.
Ordinarily, if you didn't need the money, they'll just say sit and wait it out because they'd like to close the case. But I don't know. That's sometimes something bounces off me and it goes to you.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have. This question is so typical of what I've run into in my career that it is mind-boggling. It really is. It's a little lengthy, and it's just a tragedy. It's more psychological, but the real question is at the end. My name is Laurie. I'm 42 years old. I was married for 20 years in an abusive physical and mental relationship and helped him go through school just so he could cheat more than once. I eventually had to get up the nerve and throw him out. He is now engaged to be married, doesn't have a care in the world. I raised our 2 children, struggled every day, and still do. I work 2 jobs, and now I'm going to be a grandmother. I know this is supposed to be a happy time, but now I'm worried about my daughter. I've not dated in 8 years, and I guess my question is just like everyone else's. When will it all come together? When will I meet someone? When will I not have to worry about money? And when will I stop worrying? I know it looks like more than one question, but I guess the real question is, will this ever happen for me? And that is from Lori.
Lori,
I know it's a little lengthy, Valerie.
Oh,
but
no,
I
it's
thought
all
it
right.
would be worth. Because
Lori, you've taken on a big responsibility. The child, your daughter. I know you worry about your daughter because she isn't as well behaved as she should be with the responsibility of a child. So you're taking on the child as well as everything else. My feelings for you would be to say that, unfortunately, I'd like to say it will happen tomorrow for you, but the summer of '09, which is, believe it or not, look how fast we've gone. But the summer of '09 is very good for you, and you're going to find yourself being much happier than you are right now. And that dark cloud over your head that somebody told you had is going to dissolve. So God loves you, and so do we.
once again, I know we're busy on the chat room and in the emails, but you can contact Valerie Morrison at her office, 215-483-8881, 215-483-8881 in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia. Easy to get to, folks. Even I can find it. And you can check her website at valeriemorrison.com and get information that you need. But once again, her telephone number, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when she actually works in her office, and we'll meet with you 215-483-8881. And now it is your turn, Valerie, on the highlighted on the chat room.
This is a very interesting one. Hello, Valerie, Libra, 34. I went to a psychic and was told there was a dark spirit around me. She said I needed to buy these special religious candles for each year I've been alive to get rid of the spirit. These candles were very expensive, would take away most of my savings, etc., etc., etc. Come on, let's face reality. What you've gone to is you've gone to a gypsy fortune teller. I've had guys in my office recently, in fact, that are not dumb. You're intelligent. They're very intelligent people that feel as though their life is going away, so they go to some psychic just because she puts these statues of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and all the rest of them up does not make her a good person. She's just a loser, and what she is going to do is say, give me $1,000. Next, it's your phone number. Then it's 3,000. Then it's 5,000. Get out of it while you can and go to a real psychic that will help you get some help wherever you are.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And let us go to the email. Hi, Valerie. My father passed away 2 weeks ago. All I do is cry. Could you please tell me if he knows how much I miss him and if he is at peace? Thank you very much. And that's from Patty, Valerie.
You know, Patty, your father is very much at peace, and I know that I wish it would have been a sudden thing for him, and I know that it wasn't. But if you realize towards the end that he had a light around him, and he looked younger than he used to, and everything seemed to be fine because someone came to get him. He's now watching over you, and he has great light around him. He is at peace, and he just asks that you forgive him for some of the times he didn't agree with your choices. So pray for him and know that he is fine and that he's with you at all times whenever he can be. God bless you, Patty.
Now, the question on the chat room is a little confusing there, Valerie. I think there's a word here that doesn't belong. It's the whole... Read it, Valerie.
All right. Aries is my sign. My age is 52. Do you think that my husband and I are going to make, I think she means, a career change?
Now, are they in business together? Or are they...
It sounds as though they're in business together, but I feel that what's happening is that there's no choice that she makes a career change. Because the career that her husband is in, and if she's involved with it in any way, both of their careers seem to be coinciding in some way, but is not going to be able to make it. It looks like it's going downhill already. There is a career change that comes in very, very soon. I would say before the first of the year, Herb, and she'll be fine, but it takes a little while when you're down in debt that way, the way you both are right now, trying to keep this other career alive, that will take you time to get it back up, but you will. You'll be okay. Have faith.
Before we go any further, we have to wish Valerie Morrison a happy birthday this Sunday.
Yes.
39 and holding.
Yes, I am.
Let's see. Herb mentioned my birthday. Tell them I'm 39. Okay, I did it exactly like you wrote it for me.
Well, actually, whenever Stupakowski calls me to put in the paper, yeah, I'll say, I don't think he's doing it anymore because I give him the same answer. Ladies and gentlemen, 16 on a good day, 90 on a bad one.
And Valerie's had a lot of bad days in her life, but she's had an awful lot of good days, too. It's her nature to be good. Let me go to this one here. Oh, dear, I'm afraid of... folks, remember earlier in the program where Valerie said she handles sex questions?
Oh.
Well...
All right.
Since we don't have to worry about it.
Spit it out.
Why are you blushing again? There you go again.
You know
40
I do,
years,
I know.
40 years we've been working together, and every time I ask you a question, that you start blushing. Can you see the red in her face on the camera, ladies and gentlemen?
I
know things are serious. The world's coming to an end. Everybody's worried about their money. She blushes. At this point in her life, 16 on a good day and 90 on a bad day. Today's a bad. At 90, she's still blushing. Why are you blushing? Look, she's red as a beet. I don't believe it. I didn't even ask the question yet.
I know, but I can think. Well, when I'm in the office and I'm speaking to someone about a sexual thing, I can handle it perfectly because the lights are a little dim. But when I'm with you, I blush, and then you announce it on the air, and then I blush more.
May I read the email, please?
Yes.
Turning back to normal? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Dear Valerie, and believe me, we're not making fun of the person that sent the email. Believe me, I know this is serious. Dear Valerie, I am 42 years old with one child, age 7. My husband and I have been trying to conceive for the last several months. Is there any hope for me? And that is from, I'm not even going to mention, well, she's from Philadelphia, but I'm not going to mention her name because if I did, then people know her name was Jean, so I won't mention it.
The thing, Jean, this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
I feel that, and you remember this from the old days, many babies
I know
born.
I know what she's
Okay,
gonna say.
retroverted uterus. Your uterus is tipped, and as long as your uterus is tipped, and you're having sex with your husband laying back, the uterus falls back even more, which means it doesn't collect the sperm. So what you have to do, and it really worked for you and I, if you recall that. I mean, not together, but
no, but we've conceived a lot of babies in our career.
Is get on the top position of your husband so the uterus falls into place, the sperm goes where it's supposed to go. But remember one thing, no lifting laundry once you're pregnant, no doing all the heavy things like curtains and stuff, because when a uterus is retroverted, the heavier it gets, it drops, and you can miscarry. So if you want to have that baby, and I feel you will, top position. Hey, your husband doesn't have to work that hard, does he?
You speak for yourself. Let him speak for himself. He can send us an email. I've got to relate the story every time because a lot of folks maybe never heard the story. Valerie and I were doing a program one night when I was doing the night show, and a caller called in similar to the question that Jean just asked. And Valerie talked about this, and the top position of that. And she got a little deep into it, and this gal asked questions, and Valerie responded. And then it left. And I guess about 17, 18 years later, I was in the Red Robin Diner on Route 611, and there were 10 people at a table. And a group of us, four of us, I think, went in for a bite to eat. And on the way out, the table stopped me, and a lot of folks still recognize me, I guess, from television. And they said, Irv, I want you to meet my son. And I said, how are you? I said, fine. He said, this was the result of you and Valerie 17 years ago when she could. But then, in addition to that, no, this was another case. But that was this 17 years. And you think you blush? You should have seen him blush. Oh my God, Mom! Why are you telling people how I was conceived in the restaurant? It was so cute, but she was beaming about the fact that's beautiful. That's what happened.
That is beautiful.
So we have some pretty good memories of our career.
We have a lot of beautiful memories and a lot of babies out there. Wonder how many are named after you. You ever think of that?
Who would name anybody Oyvind?
Well, I'll tell you something. I had a couple that came.
Do you notice there is not a 535 politicians in the Senate and in the House? They can't blame an Irving because there ain't no Irvings in there. So elect anybody named Irving because the ones that are there ain't doing squat.
Well, I have to tell you this. One time, I guess it was about 20 years ago, and I know because I hear from the girl, the parents came to see me. She was quite pregnant, and I had seen them previously, and it worked with the retroverted uterus. And I said, oh, you're going to have a little girl. And they said, no, we have the ultrasound. It's a boy. I said, no, it's a girl. Now, you don't usually contradict a doctor. And so anyway, the long story short, ladies and gentlemen, the little girl came out. It was not a little boy. And the mother said, what are we going to name it? And the father said, Valerie. So I have my little 20-year-old Valerie out there in college right now, and I'm very happy, and we write back and forth.
A little girl.
Yeah.
In other words, the violet was born without a stem. I think we've got time for one more question, Valerie, on the chat room.
Okay, Gemini, and of course that's Irv. Our house has been for sale for 5 weeks. I know it's not a long time, but we've had a lot of people see. We're not looking to make a whole lot of money, just want to sell it and get out of here. Are we going to make out on this? Yes, and I feel you'll probably make $10,000 more than you're asking for. So for some reason, there's something about your house that's magnetic. So it will be sold, and it will be sold in time for you to get out for Christmas and put a tree somewhere else.
Well, Valerie, I think we have just about wrapped it up for this week. And we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, almost 30 questions from the emails and from the chat room.
And the thing of this, I want to say to everyone out there that didn't get through today, I will get through to you soon, and with Irv, of course. And Or you can call WVLT, or you can call WNWR. And the VLT is in Jersey. Remember, WVLT is in Jersey from 6 to 8 in the evening on the first Monday of each month. Pearl Polto and I do a show together the last Thursday of each month from 12 noon to 1. And of course, my precious here, we do a show the last Friday of each month from 6 to 7. So either way, you're going to get your question answered. So you may always write also if you need a consultation to me to ValerieMorrison.com, and my manager will give that to me. Leave your phone number and I'll call you back for an appointment. And I wanted to tell you that the beginning started out rather reckless with the blood and the blue. Get the blue ribbons out for the officer, wear a ribbon of blue, put it out, the balloons by the house, and we will not do that anymore. But I mean, we really had to do it today. I was a little upset.
We have a question from the
So
audience.
we do.
Yeah, where can they get the ribbons?
I really couldn't find a blue ribbon. I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I cut a ribbon from a hair ribbon. And what I did was put some lipstick on it to make it the blood of McDonald. And so I would say any ribbon that you do find, I'm sure if you go to a Hallmark store, they sell the gift package store, the dollar stores sell them. And you can take a piece of the ribbon and put some lipstick that's permanent. Like as I wear permanent lipstick that doesn't come off on the guys, you know. And you can put that permanent lipstick on, and it will stay on as the blood. The flag, to me, represents our troops in Iraq.
One of these days, I'll let you know about a restaurant that I frequent with Shirley. And there were two police officers, a male and a female, that came in for dinner. And I said to and it was right after the dinner, I said to the owner, I said, would you give me those police officers' checks, please?
Yes.
And he said, well, Irv, he said, I don't charge them, and they're not allowed to eat for nothing.
Right.
I said, well, I want to pay for it. He said, well, if you do, he said, I'll give you the check. So he gave me the check, but the officers said, okay, they appreciate it. I said, look, I don't want anything from you guys. Just enjoy dinner and go out. He took the money and he put it, and in the front at the counter, he had those boxes,
Right,
Sunshine
for
Foundation,
children and so
canister.
on, yeah.
He put the money that I gave him in all of the box. So I won't tell you where this restaurant is, but that's the support. We want you not hokey-mokey, not page out, nothing. Just don't make the enemy, the police, your enemy, gang. There's some lousy cops out there, sure there are. But the biggest percentage of them out there saving your behind and my behind. That's it for the Irv Homer Show today, Friday, September the 26th, 2008. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday. And do we have a guest Monday night, Ron?
No, Wednesday night we have Pearl.
Wednesday night, Pearl Polto. Speaking of credit, and by that time, we should know what's happened in Washington, D.C. If they quit and all resign, I think it'll be great, but that's asking for too much. Broadcasting from IrvHomer.com, website www.irvhomer.com. Email me with questions for Valerie or questions for me. Email at evilerv@irvhomer.com. Once again, Valerie Morrison, 215-483-8881, the lady who blushes, and ValerieMorrison.com. Brought to you by the genius of my son, Ron, RGH Computer Services, and their telephone number, 215-322-8685. Until the next time, I'm Irv Homer. This is Valerie Morrison.